Alright, guys and girls. Probably more guys, but if there's some girls, call me. Anyways, guys, here's what we're working with, alright? The hits just keep on coming. But we got backup. Gray Goat. Alright. Came up with that valve cover gasket. Alright, so we're gonna get that on there. Also, on an update, I reached out to a few people and got a response from Gray Goat right away. And he went with 0.003, all right, for my latches on both exhaust and intake. All right, that was his recommendation. I believe what that man says, and I'm going to give it a shot. I know how to make adjustments if we need some. Usually, if there's too much exhaust, it's not going to start. If there's too much intake, it's not going to start. If they're kind of close but not perfect and it's starting rough, you can give it a little bit more intake to try to get that decompression and yada yada yada. But that's going to be our jump off, all right? So we're sticking with it. These are really nice little gaskets, man. Dang. All right. So I got the valve cover over here. As you can see, I'm gonna have to clean this gasket off. All right. So I'll go ahead and do that. I don't think you guys really want to watch that. Being really careful, or as careful as I can. I get some of the residual off of this, and we should be all set. Let me get that cleaned up, and I'll get right back to you. All right, guys? Alrighty then. She's all closed up, guys. This went flawlessly. The gasket fit perfect. I checked my lashes one more time, just to be sure. Always make sure everything's tightened when you're backing your way out of here. Taking this off and going after the valves, or the valve springs to do a relash or something, that's not really a big deal, but you should concentrate on doing the right thing and rechecking every time, all right? Now, I also reached out to EC carburetors and questioned them on this fan shroud extension thing. Okay, so this used to go up, over, and kind of like kept you away from all this fun over here. We are going to omit that. Design for that would be for, say, go-kart, maybe something that's running flat out for a long ways. Industrial use, things like that. It does provide cooling from the fan all the way around the head. All right, really cool concept, but it's not going to drastically change anything for us. All right, the way that this, let me show you something. The way that this fan shroud goes over, right, guys? And you have this big support right here. It's gonna buckle up, all right, against here. All right. So, where's that air gonna go, guys? Right up underneath the fans of the head. All right. So, I mean, it's, if not the head, come on, at least the cylinder. You know what I mean? Where's the heat really at? This heat is going that way out of the exhaust. All right. So there's where the action is, and it even has that support up top, and this carries over nicely. That'll move air, guys. So that's going to do everything it needs to do. All right. So we're just not concerned about that. So we're gonna, I'll take this bolt. We're not gonna need this anymore. We're gonna have a governor-less linkage on here. It's always fun to say governor-less linkage. All right. I think there's a no. No, we already omitted that one. All right, guys. I think that's it for getting outside of this motor. So next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna check my clearance here. I do not think I changed it. It should be what I call one folded business card or two business cards approximately. If you don't have a tool to measure it, guys, to gap it, I forget what the spec is. I used to have a little card sitting here, but honestly, on regular flywheels, guys, I do this all the time. I use a business card. You know, and I've mentioned before, it doesn't matter where it's from, as long as it's a regular, you know, paperish business card. I'll slide it under, you know, and I'll set my coils like that for a tight gap. For a bigger gap, I just use two cards. I've torn it in half and tried to use it before. It's best if you do both of them at the same time, going that method. Sometimes I prefer it on my other motors where I'm just doing, you know, tune-ups and stuff, guys. It works every single time. I have not had an issue. Okay, I'm not making contact with anything on the flywheel, the magnets or anything, and I'm getting spark. When you use an ARC flywheel, guys, back off. All right, make sure to give yourself that clearance. I have popped spark plugs before. Matter of fact, it was one of these Autolite spark plugs, and what happened is this had contaminants on it, and this created such a powerful spark that it jumped at the plug. All right, I wish I just threw it out too, and it shattered the ceramic. It cracked it in two places on both sides. All right, and I mean, it was just falling apart. Craziest thing I ever seen. Yeah, funnier, it was on a non-Hemi with a Hemi piston, and you know, all kinds of fun going on, and somehow that thing ran, guys. It was weird. The only way I found out, it kept stalling after like a minute or so. It would carry a spark, and then it would end up stalling. I just happened to reach down, and I got shocked like a son of a gun. So, true story, weird but true. All right, so you know, I'll go ahead and check this real quick, and I'm going to get the fan shroud on, all right? It's pretty straightforward, so that I can set you guys up to talk about what we're going to do on the outside, all right? I'll get right back to you. Let me get cleaned up here. All right, I'm going to show you anyway. I'm going to try to. Let's see if I can get you over here. Whoa, it's slippery, guys. Okay, look. There we go. That's what they want, all right? There's the feeler gauge. Okay? So these are set. These are perfect, all right? You can move the magnet if you want. No matter. That's what they want. Nothing less, all right? There's two cards. See? See that? That's what we want. All right? There. There. Take our cards. All right, and you just want regular business cards. You don't want anything crazy. All right, none of those credit card looking things. Definitely not a gift card, and just a little trick in case you're in a pinch. Obviously, I checked anyway because I'm out of my mind, but tips and tricks. All right, right back. All right, so old fat buddy cat went ahead and got a jump start on things here. Boring to watch, kind of weird when you're trying to handle things. Anyways, here's where we're at. I got the gas tank on and the fan shroud coil starter on. All right, guys, that's all I did. Also plugged in my kill switch. There'll probably be a handlebar mounted kill switch. I mean, there'll definitely be one at some point. I'd like to get this on the bike first. So I'm going to start with the gaskets. This one happens to come off. This is almost a brand new motor. You guys have been here and seen it the whole time on my channel, what I'm doing with this thing. So while it's new and this still comes off somewhat easily, we're going to be replacing it. I have plenty of them. Guess who? You know it. But anyways, what else we have on the table, guys? Let me show you. This is what I run for carburetors. Guys, it's just no big deal. It's a Ruixing 212, non-EPA, straight up stock carburetor. I put the Predator jet kits with the 38 140s, and once I have the motor on the bike I want and everything, I might start messing with the pilot jets, which I've done in a few of these. So that's that. We have all the gaskets for it. When I buy my intakes, I go through MB Warehouse and I buy the upgraded kit. It happens to come with the outer wears and the filter. So that's what I do. I always just grab a breather. Might as well. You're gonna need it. And then I have a few different selections and gaskets here. I know these are gonna work. We'll be using one of these. These are the ones that came out of it. You know, we'll obviously be using the insulator. And then we'll be doing the linkage that I just did a video on the other day. So I'll just, I'll get that on there. And Autolite 390 10X spark plug. Why not? I have a few sitting around, so you might as well use one. And this right here is the one-piece exhaust that I had made. That so far is what the heat's done to it. I think that was maybe on the plastic side. So that was before I cut it out more. But anyways, all that is a right side exit header, 1 inch. It's a big long pipe. It's actually probably about the length of this whole thing. If you watch the video, you can see how I made this. I think it's just a slideshow, but it's really just a series of heating up till it's glowing red and then making some minute bends and then just lopping off the end to, whatever location you decide you want to put your silencer. So on this one, I could have used a clamp, but I just welded it up. It's not bad. It was just some stick welding and a little bit of grinding, and it doesn't leak. It stays on there, guys. Taped it off, painted it with grill paint. It kind of has that like Monza, sport exhaust from back in the day. I could see that like hanging out the bottom side of like your mom's Miata or something. Alright, anyways, I'll go ahead and get these things bolted up. Reason I run these carburetors, they're just simple. They're effective to a point. It all depends where you're going with your motors, guys. This one's not too wild. I have another avenue that I plan on going with this. All right, and I really hope that works out because I want to show you guys that. There's gonna be a few more things that are gonna happen with this motor as we go, but this is what it is. This is what we have. And the whole idea is to see what this does on that bike right there in comparison. All right, to that to Hemi 212. Basically the same build as this. All right, difference being the design of the motor. All right, So this is basically a stroked 212, and that's how it gets the 223. So I'm expecting probably more, definitely more low end, definitely. Some mid range. And guys, I'll tell you, when I was stomping on this thing, even with the governor, um, it was walking away from that Predator 212. Not the ungoverned one, obviously, but the one that's on back on the sitting on the cart right now. And I don't have that one connected, guys. Maybe I'll put something else on there. We know that we're taking our Predator 212 off the other bike, so we'll see what happens. Anyways, I'll get this together real quick, and we'll get a final result. All right. This is only going to take a few minutes. All right, real quick, guys. Just brought to my attention on the governorless throttle linkage. When I showed you guys last time, I did it where I had this thing going this way. All right. So this one, for whatever reason, I looked at the directions, cha-ching, and it says to put it this way. All right. Reason being, you get a better snap on your return. Okay. Dude, it was super easy to make the spring this way. All you do is hook it in that way, right? And then you have your long end that comes, way the heck out here. You just you do your throttle return, so that you're all the way back. And then you close the throttle, right? So the rod's in place, close it. And you just like bend it right where that hole is, all right? And you don't go just like bending it 90 degrees because you'll snap them. Or you'll weaken them. So you kind of like roll it over the end of your needle nose pliers to make a nice sort of squarish, roundish looking. You're trying to mimic this, Okay. So I went over and over on both of these. Left my bend a little bit loose so I wasn't stressing the metal out. And then I'm just going to give it a little pinch right there and a pinch right there, all right? And that's it. And then everything from there on will be the same. I'll run my throttle cable through this way. We'll attach our clevis and all that stuff. All right. I'm starting to think that the first time I did it this way, I may have had been limited by a cut throttle cable, guys. All right. So where I had the shorter cable, I couldn't get my clevis to meet to make this action happen. And I think what I had done is I flipped this over. All right. So could it be done that way, and does it work? Yeah, I mean, it works on, it's working on this bike, and it's been working on this bike, and that bike, and that bike. But, this is the way they want you to do it, all right, guys? So pay attention. This could be like another bonus for you, all right? I made a mistake, guys. I'm sorry, okay? Please do it this way, all right? Just follow the instructions. All right, guys. So I just wanted to fess up to that and make sure that I cleared the air on that. Other than that, everything else is going straight forward. All right? Let me get that tank back on, and I'll get that carburetor on, and I'll get you back here on the camera. All right. Work in progress, guys. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, take it or not, I'm going to two-bird this thing, all right? So here we got the Wildcat 223. Right here, we have the Trailmaster MB202. All right, pretty straightforward what we're doing here. these 4 holes right here, okay, the inside ones. All right, those are the ones that are for the adjustable plate. Those ones on the outside, those are the stock ones, all right? We're a good distance from those. If there's ever an issue, guys, we can put a solid plate on top of this and then put the adjustable plate and just put longer bolts. All right, so this is cool what we're doing. My helper's taking a nap. All right, so first thing we're gonna have to do is get this on this engine plate. All right, now this engine plate, this is one of the OMB warehouse fully adjustable billet plates. All right, being billet, it can get a little soft. I used grade 8 bolts, all right, because I needed longer hardware and they didn't have these at the hardware store. So basically, if I had 2 sets of these, I'd be legit. The ones that come with it are short, but you know what? These work and they're strong as heck, guys. All right, however, where they're round, all right, they can groove. Okay, now I find that I've done this before, and I find that the grooves, they tend to stop after time. But if they don't, what I do in between swaps, in between taking this plate off, once this thing's on, guys, this doesn't move very far, all right? But I change engines like socks and underpants, all right? So I use them. Every time I use these things, guys, before I reuse them, I go back with a fine file. All right, I use a lot of files for things, guys. All right, and it doesn't have to be round or anything, but I just take any burrs that are off, and they come right off real easy. All right, it's not gonna kill it. Could it wear it out eventually? Yeah. Guess what? Buy a new one. All right, problem solved. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this onto this plate, all right, and then I'm going to show you how that you mount it on the plate. All right, I'll show you the positioning and make this super simple for you guys. I mean, like, honestly, look, I'm going to take the plate in my hand. This is how you get it. It says front, okay, that's the front of the bike. So let's walk over to the front of the bike. So we're looking towards the front of the bike, okay? So which way do you think that goes? Probably to the front. And then, I mean, it even says, okay, so, I mean, if you're laying on your back, just turn over, all right? So, what you do is, I believe I brought my plate all the way forward, okay? I even cut a notch in my frame over here, all right? So that I could come all the way forward. Once the motor was in position, I already had a good idea as to where it went. Why do I have that? That's so that you can run the long belts. They come stock on these bikes, and you can run a standard belt. Why that's important? Well, I'm going to show you. These have belt slip issues, guys. Alright, so when that's all the way forward, you see where my holes are? So you kind of figure what I did, right? I centered it on the frame, I marked out 4 holes, alright, and I drilled them through. That's all. That's all you got to do. Alright, and once those are drilled and your bolts are through everything, this is going to allow the engine to do this, all right? Even though it's bolted down, because these are the layout for, say, like a clone Predator 212, in our case a 223. Those bolts go over here, all right? So this thing can slide back and forth, and then your engine is separate, right? Now, to make this super easy, guys, and dummy-proof and take all the guessing work out of it, I'm going to show you what works with the Predator 212. I'm going to show you what works with everything but the stock motors so far, all right? I've tried, well, I guess we've already only tried a Predator 212 or a 223, but we've done it, guys. I've done it. And here's the thing. Once this is on here, right, if we use the shorter belt, all right, our motor's mounted on there, guess what we can do once the belt's on there? That's right. We can edge it forward. So now when we're running our Super Series, or, you know, that's basically the only thing that's going to work for this, it's going to help you really, really get tight on that belt, guys. All right, the belt is dramatically shorter. It changes the position of the motor. It takes the motor further back from your pegs. You know, it all has to do with this thing here. You know, this isn't worn through. This is, you see how dramatic that is when it's off? All right, so let's get this thing together, guys, so you guys can see what I'm doing. We got some help. Hi, buddy. All right, I'll make it easy. All right, guys, be right back. All right, guys, this is kind of precarious, but what you want to do is get it on the plate, right? And then you're going to go all the way left and then tighten it down. All right, so by that I mean you're going to get the plate all the way to the left. I mean the motor all the way to the left on the plate. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, okay. This is the most difficult part to do because those bolts have to come straight through, okay? You can't have them sandwiched in at an angle or nothing. All right, that one right there is just kind of dangling. That's just because I'm holding this thing up with one hand, guys, and I'm holding it on there. Believe me, there's no pressure on that. Okay, so all the way to the left, that's what you're looking for. Same thing if this was a Predator 212. All right, be right back. All right, guys, sorry about the glare from the sun. It's already looking good. All right, so here's what I do. I got the exhaust, guys. I got the intake. I got everything on this, all right? You don't pick your engine up by the exhaust, all right? You don't go picking it up by the intake, all right? You hold up under here, you know, by the gas tank, grab the motor, all right? Don't make it this far and then go breaking your head, all right? Or, you know, your actual head. Ooh, that looks nice. All right, so see what I did, guys? I put it on the frame, okay? While it's on the plate. Obviously going the right direction. All right, and here's what I'm going to do. Here's our holes. All right, I'm going to take the bolts and I'm going to slide them right next to the holes. Okay? I'm going to get this nice throttle cable that's dangling down here up out of our way somewhere so we don't fray the end of it. It's brand new. Dang it. Alright, so there we go. We're kind of like next to the holes with the bolts, right? This thing is already helping us. Now I can just lift it up, technically, and it should be a lot easier to place in those holes. Now, if I had somebody with me, besides the helper I got there, we might be able to get this thing on a little easier. But this is by myself, guys. This is my point of view. This is how it's done, okay? This is what Fat Buddy Cat goes through. Alright, so I'm going to lift this thing up and get it on, and then I'm going to get back to you, alright? Because that would just be insane to try to do right now. Alright, I'll be right back. Alright, there we go. I already got it on. Dude, I'm talking, this is like a minute later. Washers, nylock, nuts, everything. Ready to go, alright? We're not going to tighten this yet. I'm just going to finger tighten it right up to the nylocks, alright? You know? Aren't you glad you guys watched this? You know, this is for those ones who think, you know, Fat Buddy Cat's a real dumpski. See, here's the thing. I might be slower than some guys, and I might process things and ask a lot of questions. Maybe I seem annoying, but guess what? Been there, done that. Alright? I've tried these things. I will keep trying these things. This is what I do, guys. I love this. Alright? So, I'm all about it. If something comes up, we got a new challenge, we're going to find it and we're going to hit it. Alright, so here's what we got. And I'm going to explain to you what's going on here. So let me get, I'm going to go grab the pieces off the side of the Predator. Might as well, right? That way we can put the cover on and do everything all at once. Alright, I'll be right back. Alright guys, so here it is. We got the frame on for our cover. I put a little bit of red tacky sticky grease on here, basically just to keep it from, it's like using no seeds. I just ran out. You can also use graphite spray, but this is what I got. This is what I'm using. So anyways, the engine is all the way back. It's the only way, it's the only place it's going to go, left to right, guys. All right. So I got my spacer, all right, and one shim, okay, and that's it. That's perfect alignment. This can't move from there. It can only go front to back. All right, guys. So the next thing is going to be getting the Super 30 series over this and then on, just like normal. However, it's a little bit easier because we're all the way back. All right. Well, there you go, guys. Not too bad, huh? I think she looks nice. I'll get it warmed up. And it's not dark yet, and it's not too muddy. Maybe we can take it for a quick drive, all right? We'll see how it does.